All right. Well, welcome everybody this morning. Here we are at kind of our state of the project to see what's been going on, our State of the Union of what's been happening. My name is Royal O'Brien. I'm the General Manager of Digital Media and Games and the Executive Director of the Open3D Foundation. And we're going to talk a little more about what have we done since we've actually started here. So how far have we come? Well, if you think about it, we've started from zero, put our foundation governance in place with our formal partners. We've actually held our first governing board meeting, approved a budget of how we're going to operate. So we're actually fully operational from that perspective. We can do things that we actually need to do. And we're getting ready for our first technical steering committee. We've actually approved all of the TSC members that are going to be on there from the governing board. So we actually have our two major pillars that we need to operate this project in a meaningful way. And we have a vibrant, self-governing community, which means that we don't necessarily have everybody from one company that's been driving it and keeping it together. We actually have a community of all the different members that are watching other ones, helping other ones, doing everything that we need to have done without us being there 24/7 like a job. And the other part is we have a fully working process now to accept PRs from almost any contributor, and we have the ability of taking RFCs for different ideas. So that means that this project is able to operate, can, and does at this point where we are at about 2.5, 3 months out. So if you look at what's happened, we have over 100 authors of the code, over 600 code commits. We've had over 5,300 file changes, 750,000 code line changes. Our Discord community growth, we've gone from a couple hundred to over 1,500 users. And there's an average of about 400 online at any point in time when somebody has a question. And we average about 300 to 500 messages a day. So there is a tremendous amount of communication and support happening between the members themselves, and over 3,000 minutes of collective audio and video per week that we have in minutes and conversations that happen at any point in time when people want to show others or help others in any way. So technically speaking, we've had great progress on native Mac and Linux editor support. So if you look, we've actually had the community get these up and working without a Windows box in sight, being able to get these editors up so that we can move towards a completely native environment where it's not just based on Windows, but you can use open source type of operating systems like Linux and of course Mac where they want to build. Our partner support, some of the things that we've seen from our partners, like Popcorn Effects, they were actually one of the first ones to get their gems up with Kythera, but they've also been able to get native Linux support completely across the board, where this is a complete Ubuntu distro that is running O3D and their Popcorn Effects gem for all the different particle systems. And then we have Cesium, who's been able to stand up at 60 frames a second, the complete digital twin from their cloud sources, and have it running in the engine, streaming on the fly, which is absolutely amazing how quick they've gotten this stand up in such a short period of time. Which kind of gives a testament to the amount of work that's been done in this project for getting it to where people can use this, actually do something functional and move it forward versus spending all of their time trying to figure out, well, what else do I have to fix in this engine to make something work? And then, of course, we have Kythera and Kitbash. Kythera was able to take some of the Kitbash 3D assets and produce a fully running AI simulation running all these from off of Kythera, running as a gem also within this system. So that's the interesting thing. In such a short period of time, developers have been able to stand up and get things running. And just from the ground up, since we've been able to launch off of this, which that goes to show that as people continue working on this, as this continues to grow and expand, we're going to see a lot more amazing things come out of this, and we never know where they're going to come from. That's the best part. So speaking of our first conference, those of you that have come out here, the thing about this, we will have recorded over 20 hours worth of content from this. This is going to be huge for the community to be able to learn, adopt, and move forward with this project. 21 learning sessions, 8 project talks, and 7 lightning talks. So that's a lot of content. In all of this, we've had over 220 people in attendance live and virtually. So think about that. We're sitting at around 10 to 12 weeks out of the gate, and we actually have a paid conference that we have 220 people that have decided this is really important to them, and they want to support and move forward with this type of project. Next week, we have our O3DE Jam. That's a month-long running jam that's going on, and the main reason for this is that we have people that are going to build all kinds of things, games, simulations, whatever they want. Now, some are wondering, well, why would we run a jam so quickly? But the more people that start using this and adopting this and working with this, the faster that we find bugs, the faster that it matures, the more advanced that it gets. And it's a matter of getting hands-on. So we put this jam together so people can actually build these things and see some of the most creative things. I've run a lot of jams in the past. I've seen people literally stand up systems that we didn't even know you could do out of the blue with very little knowledge. So we're really looking forward to this month-long jam. All 36 of the sessions that we've done here, that everybody has participated in or been a part of or worked with, that will all be on YouTube for the entire community and the jam to start using to advance how fast we can move forward with this. We have the new Open3D Jam installer available. We've taken a branch off of this, and we basically built an installer so that we can stabilize it while they're working with the jam. And then we have our GA coming up by the beginning of December. So that means that you don't have to just go and get the source code. You can actually turn around and use the installer to run this. And of course, go to Discord if you're curious or have support or questions. There are tons of people there ready to support. The whole thing here is that teams will get to build anything they want in this jam and do whatever. And that's what we're looking for. We want to see a lot of things in the showcase of what they're going to build. There will also be code samples and templates. We're not expecting people to just come into this cold. And so if you look, Amazon actually had an internal jam that they did, and they built a handful of games in a very short period of time. Well, they're actually going to be making those available, and here's one of them right here, which has all of the graphic assets, all of the source code, and everything you need to make kind of a Moonlander type of game that you can take and build into your own. This is some of the quickest ways that you can use this to learn and move forward. And we have a handful of templates that have different ways of how you can use this. So we'll be releasing this out into the public so that everybody has the availability to it in the community and be able to grow off of these templates as well, kind of like a way to kickstart it. So we've come really a long way, if you think about it. And the thing is that we have a lot more exciting places to go. I mean, we've just started where we've talked about games and where we're focused on that. But now we have things like simulation, robotics, machine learning. We have automotive and energy, real estate. There's so many different places and so many different technologies that we actually communicate with. And there are a lot of companies that you might think, well, why would they use this? They already have their own engines. They already have their own products. But the interesting thing is they want to be able to reduce their debt. They want to be able to cut down the number of people they need to support and have something that continually advances without them having to advance their team. And so these are the partners that we're looking to embrace and to have on board and join our community as we continue to grow. So if you think about it, a lot of the things that we've done here and what we've been working towards has been building this open source ecosystem, this open source community that we want people to be able to adopt, so that using a 3D engine, building something on a 3D engine is pretty much the same as like building a web page. We all use our browsers today. It's very common, but nobody pays for their browser. And the reality is that we're looking to democratize and provide this kind of open source support for 3D engines for use in anything, where people can use the kind of tools out in the world to build some of the best experiences, but not have to worry about where do they start with their engine and how they do all of these things. So that's everything we've got for our opening note. I know we have a couple people that'll actually come up and start presenting. So we have our next one coming up here soon, which will be with O3D sounds great, but how do I get involved with Amy over at Red Hat, Amy Marich. So I don't know if she's here or not. Hey, Amy. So if you want, we can go ahead and get set up. And we'll go ahead and just jump right into it. There's going to be a lot of sessions today. We have a handful of talks. There'll be 30 minutes a set, and then we have a bunch of 10-minute lightning talks. So you're going to see people kind of coming up here, literally like you'll see them setting up their laptop on the side here, getting ready, getting mic'd up, and jumping through as we do this. It'll be a really rapid pace, but this is kind of how we get as much information as we can out there to the community, and that's what's the most important thing for everybody to get as much as they can out this that we have available.